Good game today.
Yeah. Hey, folks, this is Mike Cagley, Ked Prince, Marcus Griffin, Illini legend. We are going to kind of watch this selection show. We figured it'd be fun to get some comments from Illini fans and just kind of watch it. So we're here watching it live at our places, and we're going to give you our rundown of what they're talking about. We'll get responses from Ked and Marcus. These guys live, breathe college basketball. I'm more of a Big Ten guy, although I do enjoy some SEC and Big 12. And we will talk a little bit about where the Illini land. And so you can tune this in and we go back and forth, or at least if you're somewhere where you can't tune it in, at least you'll feel like you've got a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And of course, I don't know that Illinois is going to be one of those teams that everybody's around. I think Illinois was planning on doing something private, and Brad Sturdy, we may have something later tonight. We just have to see. Brad Sturdy is over in Champaign. And folks, we start off with the South region where Auburn is number one. So any surprises there, guys? I don't think so.
No, they had a great year. You knew that they were going to be number one. They'd have to lose 2 games in a row, which wasn't going to happen in 3 games. They're just a tough team. Everybody saw that coming.
Yes. Coach got them playing like a well-oiled machine. Solid. They're long, athletic. They could get out and they run and they attack the paint. So
yeah, and they're going to get the winner of Alabama State and St. Francis. Lucky those people.
Ooh, look at this one, Louisville.
They're an 8 seed.
They're an 8 seed. That's tough. They had an unbelievable year, 27-7. Man, I can't wait to see who the 9 is in this one either.
Ooh, there's a game.
Yes, it is. Oh,
Creighton
yeah.
versus Louisville, 8-9, Thursday.
Yeah, y'all a little ahead of me.
Okay.
But it's YouTube TV, folks. So, folks at YouTube TV, you need somebody to advertise?
Ooh,
I'm right here.
That is a good game.
This next one is not good for Illinois. If Michigan is a 5 seed, Illinois is not getting a 6. I would be very surprised. Michigan just popped up as a 5. They had a great year, 25-9. They just won the Big Ten tournament. Yes, Illinois might be in trouble in this one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
No, it's not.
That's not good at all. You talking about Big Ten champs, a 5 seed?
Well, yeah. It's Michigan.
Whew. Well, maybe the strength of schedule, Illinois can lean on that. The strength of schedule will probably be a little stronger than what Michigan's went through.
And Texas A&M gets the 4th seed.
That's solid pickup.
Yeah. They play defense.
Yes, they do.
And they rebound really well.
And there's Yale. Going to put them up against the Ivy League.
Hey, do you guys think Indiana's going to get in?
Well, seeing Michigan at a 5 seed makes me wonder if Indiana is going to get in.
What about the Buckeyes?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like the 5 seed Michigan makes me change all of that.
Ole Miss gets to come up to Milwaukee and play the win. North Carolina gets in the play-in game. Come on.
They don't want to leave them out because that's the Jordan.
Maybe now I got to change my mind. Indiana's going to be in for sure.
Well, North Carolina had 22 wins on the season.
Yeah, I know, but they played nobody. They played like
2
good teams all year.
In the ACC, yeah.
But they play some competition in conference.
But
you don't Power 5s, you win, you get 22 wins in a Power 5. It's hard to keep them out.
It is.
Iowa State is Illinois going to be the 7 seed? Iowa State plays Lipscomb.
It's kind of interesting. The seeding is what's surprising me. Matchups, I'm not paying much attention to.
Nope.
Marquette is 7.
Right.
Illinois, they might slide in as an 8 or 9. I don't know, guys.
I think they're going to be a 6.
Over Mike, over Marquette.
This is scary, guys.
This is
scary. This is scary.
That's a good seed.
I like this draw for Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan State, they go into the Elite 8 easily.
Oh, it looks like it to me.
Because I don't think those guys fit. I'm looking at those teams. I don't see them physically being able to match up with Michigan State.
No.
Can you imagine a score in a Marquette and a Michigan State if that were to be true? Hell, it might be 109, 110.
Oh yeah.
Both of those teams like to get them down the court. South region, boy.
Yeah, we having some technical difficulties over here. So my TV dragging. My TV.
Technical difficulties. Oh man.
I'll tell you what, that.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No. I look and I think Michigan State's got the best draw that a Big Ten team's gotten in the last 15 years.
It's been a long time. That's easy. But that Louisville Creighton game, yikes. I would be mad if I was Louisville or Creighton, especially Louisville. I thought they had a good year, but again, I don't know. That's tough. But
Michigan State got a great draw. They got a great draw. I
agree with Griffin. He said earlier, the strength of schedule may help Illinois. Then I don't know, they'll take in consideration the injuries. They were 19th in the net. I just posted that on Twitter. So we're going to see here. I don't know. I think if you're going to go out and reward teams for not avoiding people, because they played Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Duke. I shouldn't say Duke because they didn't play them. They were on the schedule. Well, I guess they showed up, but you got to reward a team for that.
Agree. Oh, let me pause it again.
Man, I cannot believe the scene. But it was nice to see Michigan State. I tell you what, I was thinking if Michigan State, I don't know if it was going to happen. If Michigan State could have won, if they would have won the Big Ten tournament, they might have slipped into a 1 seed, possibly.
Well, with everybody, with the loss, I'll tell you, the team that just scared the snot out of me watching today and the last few days is Florida. Oh,
yes.
Holy cow. That looks like.
I don't know how big they was. I did not know they was that big.
And fast and they can shoot.
They got length out there. I did not know that.
Look at this. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is sponsoring that. And, of course, obviously over here.
You know what? For people out there listening, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it takes not having Greg Gumbo be a part of this, man.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough for me. That dude, it's like watching Charles Barkley and just that whole Kenny Smith, that whole group. They're just CBS and all a part of March Madness, and it stinks not having him around this year.
Yeah, he was one that was he just was such a great voice.
There's certain voices in sports that you get accustomed to hearing, like what was the Cassell with boxing?
Oh, yep. And I remember him and Muhammad Ali going back and forth. It was just so great.
It's just the voice. I remember Selection Sunday. You always heard you just heard his voice every Sunday.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it a commercial on y'all's too?
Yep. We got commercials on right now. Okay. I think let's see here. We're gonna try to play around a little bit with our podcast here and see what I can manage to do. Going to take a look over at see if we can look at some of these brackets.
You just sent out something. Well, you probably already sent it, but I just got it.
I'm just going to look at some of these comments, too, while you're doing that. Nathan, to be honest with you, about North Carolina making it.
So there's a bracket there as we said. You got Auburn, and then you got I think Auburn's in a great position. Louisville and Creighton, think about it, those are two good teams, but that is a tough battle to have Auburn on the other side of it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you're Auburn, I don't like that draw, the 8 and 9. I mean, that 8 and 9, that's going to be a really good game. I know Auburn's tough. We've seen that from Maui, from early on in the season. That 8 and 9 matchup is tough. I'm really curious to see what the other 8 and 9s are going to be, because that's a great matchup. And I just hope Illinois can avoid that. And I know their strength of schedule, which we talked about, and their injuries and things like that. I hope they can take that in consideration. But when you see Michigan as a 5 seed, that's concerning.
They're going to put Illinois as a 6 seed. Watch.
That's probably fair.
I'll be happy with that.
So would I.
That's a tough game there.
What's that, 6-11 matchup?
Yeah. Yep.
And now we're back. So
Here we
I'll
go.
unshare this as we go to. They're about ready to go. Oh, Duke shocks the world is number one. And they have to go all the way to Raleigh to play. So that's about a 15-minute
35-minute
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even think they're going to need Cooper Flag until at least the round of
I agree
next
with you.
week, the second. I think their talent is good enough to win the first two games.
Oh, this 8-9. I can't wait to see who this one is compared to Louisville and Creighton.
Mississippi State's got to be going, oh, crap, what happened?
And there's going to be some team that's, oh, yeah, Mississippi State. Yep.
Oh, Baylor. Ooh, tough draw for Baylor.
Yes, it is.
You win a national title, maybe he sold his soul. Oregon gets a 5.
Nathan is all over it, boy. I tell you. I don't understand that. That, to me, I have complained about that for the last 4 or 5 months. If they're getting a 5, I think you guys are right. I think Illinois is probably going to be a 6. That's what based off what I see so far, they're going to be a 6. They should be a 6, but how is Oregon? Yeah.
Hold up. Oregon is a 5 seed?
Yeah, we're
well, sorry, Griff. We're ahead of you. Yes.
I'll ruin it for you, Griff.
Yeah, y'all are ahead of me.
Oh, John Gross gets to take on Arizona.
Oh, Johnny. That's okay. Congratulations, Arizona. My eyes, I'm looking up, so people are watching this podcast, and my TV is up on top of my fireplace, so I'm not staring at nothing. Wow. Arizona and this is interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here we go. 6, BYU. Not surprising. Cash cow, college basketball.
Yeah, BYU takes on VCU, the 6 and 11 there, out in the East region. Trying to see who the 3 seed is here.
Wisconsin, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, Ked, right on the board there, man. Ked's on the money.
Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Woo, good guess, Ked. I don't see. I see you're ahead of me, and
Wisconsin looks a little depressed after playing that bomb of a game.
Look
I'll
at
tell
them.
you what. Oh, and they get to play Montana, the Grizz.
Look at them
playing 4 games in 4 days, man. That's
tough.
And not winning the title. Yeah,
that's rough.
Even the cheerleaders going, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, we tired.
Ooh, that's a good guess right there. Well, we
St. Mary's has to organize whether they're going to stand up or not. It took them a little while there to get that going there. Come on, guys.
Who was the 7-10?
St. Mary's and Vanderbilt are the 7-10 out there.
Vanderbilt's dangerous, man. I saw them play against Missouri. They're pretty good.
So it looks like I still don't know what they're going to do with Illinois. Yeah, Illinois is going to be in that 7-10 matchup.
Tater, after these people watching never watch basketball, probably just look at the analytics. You're probably right, Taterhead.
Alabama,
I would love to know exactly how many basketball people are in that selection Sunday.
I know that's what one of our listeners or participants just said, because they look at the schedules and how many wins. Remember, back in the day, the magic number was for all this net and rankings and all these things. It used to be the magic number was get to 20 wins.
Yes, when I was in school.
You get to 20.
There was no such thing as net rankings, Power 1, 5 wins. You got to 20 in a Power 5, you was good.
Yep. Not anymore, man. All that stuff matters.
Yeah. No, it was I got to be honest with you, Duke, you're right. I don't think they'll need Cooper Flag that first weekend.
No. Just looking at their bracket, no. They should get through that. Now, they don't need nobody else to get hurt.
Right. I get it.
But to go through what they got, no, they should be fine. He should be able to rest. I think they got enough talent to beat Mississippi State, Baylor, and then I think they could win their first game.
Yeah, as we look at it here, taking a look at this the screen here, you've got so we've got Duke against American Mount St. Mary's winner. You got Mississippi State and Baylor, which should be an interesting game there. Oregon, I do not understand how they got to be a 5. And then you've got Arizona and Akron.
Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, for the last month, and there's been a lot of people they don't understand how Oregon. I mean, that's why I'm really curious to see what Illinois is going to be. A lot of people had them ahead of Illinois for pretty much the whole season, but they did beat it. They beat Alabama, I think. And that probably has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, they beat a top team. And then you see the backside of that. Yeah. BYU and VCU. Wisconsin, I think, they get to go out and play against Montana. But I'll tell you what, if Wisconsin lays bricks like they did today, you can't afford to play like that in an NCAA tournament game.
But I think they'd be fine because they're gonna guard both of those teams crazy. So right. I think that's the only reason why they was in the game against a Michigan right. team, because they played solid defense. So it's not like, they don't score, they don't play good defense. I think they put their calling card on playing defense first and then knocking down shots second.
I think they were tired too, fellas. I'm not making excuses. That's a lot. I mean, when you're a good shooting team, because they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams, that's tough to do back-to-back days. And when Illinois did it last year, they attacked the basket. You had Marcus Domask shooting 4 or 5 foot shots and Terrence Shannon shooting layups. That helps. Yep. When you have to settle for threes, and which is what Wisconsin has done. And it's weird hearing say that because they've always been a 50 to 60, point team scoring points. Excuse me, I said that stupidly. They typically only score 50 to 60 points a game, and now they've changed their dynamics and they're, scoring 70, 80 points like everybody else. So this could happen to anybody. And even Michigan, who's a good 3-point shooting team, they don't like the scoreboard up today either.
Yeah,
well, here's the interesting.
Player was like 1 for 15, wasn't he today?
It was bad. I don't have the box score opened up. I do think now I got to take your guys' heat check here now. Your temperature check is we saw North Carolina make it into the play-in game, which we didn't think they were that good. Does Indiana make it in via play-in game as well into this? Or
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm so lost on how they're ranking the seedings. So anything is possible at this point. Where at the beginning, before we started, I didn't think Indiana will be to get in, but nobody had I didn't see North Carolina at all on any of the draft boards.
No, I didn't either. And I think they got in on their name, and that's why probably Mike's asking. Griffin, you're talking about Tanji. He was 1 for 14 from the field today.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I it's hard because some of these teams, they can say it doesn't matter. There's certain teams, like I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Michigan State was a playing game, and they went on a run, and they got in because of their name. It's just teams who are – there's the blue bloods, if you want to call them that, and then there's the other, everybody else. There's a middle tier, second tier, Illinois, Purdue. They're in that second tier. Wisconsin's in that second tier. Kentucky's considered a blue blood, but those teams are just going to get special treatment, and it's never going to change. Yeah.
I tell you what, it's crazy because I would have told you before this Illinois was a 6 or a 7. I still think they should be maybe even a 5, but with what we've seen now, I if they come out as an 8 seed, it's not going to shock me.
Well, Michigan got today. There's no way they're going to get a 5 seed. If they got a 5 seed,
I agree. Yeah, before
you got to think about it. But Baylor got a 5 seed.
Good point, Griff.
Like, if it wasn't for Baylor, I'd be agreeing with you. But if you put Baylor at a 5 seed, you like, man, Illinois could get a 3 seed.
Yeah, because wouldn't that be great if Illinois got a 4 seed just to piss off the rest of America? That's a dangerous team right there too, boy. They guard and foul, and they make officials call fouls the whole game because they're not going to call foul.
We're back now doing the Midwest, and SIU Edwardsville gets to take on Houston.
Oh my goodness, Houston SIU.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good job getting there, but them boys finna put a route on.
That might be a 50. I'm sorry. Hope there's no SIU fans listening to you, but you might lose by 50.
Yeah, them boys, they try to put 120.
Well, Illinois could too if they're playing.
Ooh, Gonzaga 8. Wow. It's another 8-9 matchup that's tough. Who's going to pop up here?
Okay, we're going to give. Apparently, they're giving a biography of Gonzaga. Oh, that Georgia team. How do you predict that Georgia team? Because they play like great, and then they don't. I mean, they're Georgia's is multiple personalities as the Illini are.
Yes, they are.
Inconsistent is inconsistent with Georgia. I've seen them play a couple times, but
Gonzaga, they didn't have Clemson. I'll tell you what, that's a dangerous team. I watched them when they beat Duke. Clemson's good this year. They've had a great year. The ACC was down, but Clemson had a really, really good year.
And McNeese is the old LSU coach, right?
Yep. I remember Illinois played them a couple years. Oh, you know what? I think they played them.
Purdue gets a 4.
Okay. I'm just all over the place. If they get, God darn it, if they get a 4 and Illinois gets a 7, I am going to probably throw my computer. And
that's what's happening. That is what's going to happen.
Your reward. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just talked about that name. I don't know. We're going to see what Illinois stacks up.
I think Clemson's going to be a handful for Purdue in that second round.
I don't like how Purdue is playing right now at all.
Illinois is a 6th seed, folks, playing in Milwaukee.
Mike, you're ahead of us. We called it.
Yep.
So they're playing.
And who
Friday.
are they taking on, folks? Little drum roll here.
Don't say it. Don't say it yet.
My goodness.
Don't say it. Let's see who pops up here. They play Friday. Come on, TV. Let's go.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, playing game. Griff, are you there yet?
Nope. Go ahead and say it.
Texas and the winner and Xavier are playing.
Whoever. Yep, the two teams that were not
good
against.
I like to see, guys.
Texas versus Xavier. Winner takes on Illinois. And then we got Kentucky as the 3 seed.
No, I don't like that at all.
And Troy. I don't think Kentucky's not overly physical. I think they're a better matchup for Illinois than a lot of teams could be.
Dang.
I'm not mad about it. I'll tell you that.
UCLA is a 7 seed, so Illinois did at least go over UCLA.
Yeah. I like that. 21-12, 6 seed. I'll tell you what. I like the first round.
I'm not scared of their region. Like, I'm looking at it.
Well, the 2 seed's tough.
But we ain't got there yet. We ain't got there yet.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be a tough team, and it'd be a good rematch, right?
Oh, I'll tell you what. I like this. I really do like this because I like this.
So UCLA, Utah State, and then the 7-10 game, and then Tennessee and Wofford as the 2-15.
I'll tell you what. I like that Kentucky matchup. I'm sorry. I'm not. I like that.
If Illinois. I really am not upset with their draw.
No, that's a good Illinois and Michigan State got at least fair seedings.
Yes, they got taken care of. I'll put it that way. I agree.
Because there's some years it's looked like they hate Illinois, and this year is not one of those years. Now Illinois can still lose in the opening game, but
I'll tell you what. I'm sorry, Mike. And Griff, I like this one. For the year that they had, I think they were rewarded. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact Kentucky's thinking this is not good for us. I'm telling you that. I know that because Illinois can play with them. They're not a physical team. Now, depending upon which Illinois team is going to show up, I like this one. I do.
I'm not afraid of this at all. If I was coach, like my talking points will be that first part of the season is over. Look at what we've done. We can compete with anybody. We have beaten the 2 seed this year. We've hung in with 1 seeds. So let's go ahead and do it one more time.
So let's take a look at this. We got Houston, SIU Edwardsville, Gonzaga Georgia, Clemson McNeese, Purdue, and High Point. And then, of course, we go over to Illinois, facing the winner of Texas Xavier. So what's that? Sean Miller. And, of course, it's the annual make up a rumor time that Brad Underwood's going to Texas. So that's a norm. We do that every year. Kentucky and Troy, UCLA, Utah State, Tennessee, and Wofford. And I got to be honest with you, now Illinois can beat almost anybody. They can lose to almost anybody. The only team that scares the living snot out of me in this one is Houston. Because they are
me. But Mike,
and they are relentless.
You know what you haven't mentioned? If Illinois wins that first game, I'm going to tell you, you know where Orlando coached at, don't you?
Kentucky.
That's right. So there's always a little drama there, man. I like this. You know what? There was a couple teams I didn't want to see just because I think they're bad matchups. Kentucky, great, cool with it. Texas, Xavier, I like this. And here's the deal. It's in Milwaukee. So that's going to be to Illinois' advantage as well. I'm sorry. And I know Kentucky's going to travel, but that's going to be an exciting game. So I like the fact that it's on Friday as well.
I'm trying to get my tickets as soon as we get off this.
So if all of a sudden Marcus isn't on the air, folks, he's just bailed on us and he's getting his tickets.
You got to get them now because you know they're going to go away quick.
I thought Illini Legends you guys just called up Josh Whitman and he just met you at the game with a pair of tickets.
I'm gonna have to text my boy Whitman and say, look, man, you got to take care of the OGs, man.
I wish it was like that.
Now Taterhead's he's going right at the crew here. Can we say how Texas and Xavier get in is they don't look that good? And I think
care. It's a win for me. I look at it.
Some of it's brand name, don't you think?
It is. We've said that. I mean, it really is. And I mean, people think that doesn't matter. It does. North Carolina was the first team that we just talked about.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, we're down to one bracket for Indiana. And here's why I want Indiana in. Because I'd rather have them not get into the portal right away. I'd rather have them have to play for one more weekend, 4 or 5 more days, just to keep them away from the portal and hiring and all that.
But I agree with everything that you guys just said. Brand recognition is huge because at the end of the day, if we don't think it's about markets and what's big and popularity that helps drives, because there's no reason North Carolina should be in the tournament. Like, I think they're a Power 5 conference, but I looked at their teams who they beat this year. They really didn't they really didn't have that significant win. But I really didn't watch that much of Texas and Xavier this year. As an 11 seed, I'm guessing they didn't do well. Texas didn't do well in the Big 12, and I didn't think Xavier did well either. So
now they're going to the final bracket, and the Florida, who looks just as tough as can be, is the number 1 team in the West. They'll have to go all the way to Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you get tickets to the Raleigh, North Carolina stuff, you can watch both Duke and Florida. Be pretty good.
I'm really curious. Team I haven't seen called, and Seth mentioned this, Oklahoma. I haven't seen them be called yet.
No,
they may get the
number 1 seed.
Wow,
Auburn.
UConn is an 8 seed, so Illinois was seeded higher than UConn. That's kind of funny. And Oklahoma draws UConn, the 8-9 game.
Oh, I can't wait to get off this podcast and make a phone call.
Yeah, Jeremy Fears is going to be
what's coming. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm making that call because I know how that recruitment went, man. Once he decommitted to Illinois, Mr. Fears, you're going to get a phone call from me in a few minutes.
And Memphis is the 5 seed.
That's great. And I'm glad for my boy Big Dane Danger,
because he had a great game today. He been ball.
Yes, he has. That's one kid. That's one kid I miss. There's been a lot of kids leave the program, but that is one kid I think that could have won Illinois a couple more games. Just he's that good to me. Colorado State, tough matchup. They're a 12 seed, but they're tough. Man, so out of all the Big Ten schools so far, I'm going to tell you the biggest gift to me, that's wrong. Maryland, a 4 seed, sorry. They finished second in the Big Ten. You're going to tell me you're going to give Purdue a 4 seed? I was just getting ready to say that, and you're going to tell me, no way. That's the biggest gift of all the Big Ten schools so far to me. Sorry.
Now we go down. It's getting tight for Indiana fans. Missouri's a 6 seed. Are they going to play? Is that a 6-11? Is that an 11 play-in game? I wasn't paying attention.
That's what Illinois just did, and they put them exactly what Illinois was, a 6 seed, which is deserving. Missouri had a good year after Illinois spanked.
Ooh, and they get to play Drake. Now, that was one that a lot of people had Drake playing in Illinois. So Drake versus Missouri. That's an interesting. That should be a good battle.
I'm not commenting because y'all are so far ahead of my TV right now.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet, which is a lot for me to do.
Especially when we're on a podcast, Ked.
I know. I'm sorry, man. My fault, guys. I'm enjoying it.
Nobody wants to see Ked pondering
and looking up at the sky.
It looks like you're looking at Marcus. It's like the Brady Bunch.
Oh, look at Griff's looking up too, so I don't feel so bad.
What's crazy? Because my TV is right in front of me, and I've got to look up every once in a while. But it is skipping, so I'm just cutting it off.
No, I'm sorry, man. I'll be quiet.
Texas Tech gets UNC Wilmington. Oh, Thursday, Kansas is the 7 seed, and they take on Arkansas.
Oh,
they got in.
I didn't know Arkansas would get in.
Looks that's like that name. Look at the coaches.
Didn't make it in, folks.
Nope. You know what? You're right. Now that NIL money's about to. Oh wow.
Gonna be an NIL bomb go off in Bloomington.
How many teams in the Big Ten get? I didn't keep track. I don't know. Maybe some of our
either.
So St. John's with Rick Pitino, who, if you factor out age, is easily the best basketball coach alive.
Yeah.
Divine, whoever that is on the board, made a good comment. I agree with you. I think the Illinois, I'm going to be honest with you, Purdue got the best seed out of the Big Ten. They were given a gift. Maryland's better, but I will tell you the bracket, I think it's tailor-made for Illinois. That Illinois could win 2 games out of there. I'm not saying they're going to, but I think they could win it. 8 teams from the Big Ten, that is not good.
No, because they have projected 10. Really?
So who didn't make? Yeah. So they left out that out of that 10 would have been Ohio State, possibly in Indiana.
Yep.
Man, 18 teams. That's why Indiana's coach is being fired, and that's why Iowa coach is being fired. You got to win games. I feel bad for Maryland.
You got to make sure that you have a strong enough schedule like Illinois that if you come up with 11 losses, you have some big wins in there as well. Now, I got to be honest with you. This looks like this could be an SEC year in the tournament. That conference, after watching that conference tournament, man, they look tough this year.
They loaded. Like they loaded. Like they loaded.
I wonder how many teams they got in. But you know what, though, guys? I'm not saying the SEC is not the number one conference, but I don't want people to think what they saw with Wisconsin and Michigan today. Think that's Big Ten basketball. Big Ten's has some good wins because if I could be wrong, but I think Oregon beat Arkansas this year. Alabama, excuse me. Illinois had some great games against SEC schools, and I know there's something I'm missing. So today that Big Ten championship game was a mud fight.
But I think But I think that is Big Ten basketball. It just shows the versatility of Big Ten basketball. Like we can
Purdue just bothers me
this way as well, but don't get it twisted. We are great shooting. We're both great shooting teams, but we also can put 80 points up. Both of those teams can put 80 points up any given night. But when it's not going bad, we're going to put our calling card on our defense. Both of those teams play legit defense.
That's a good point. Okay, who got left out? First 4 in. North Carolina, what a gift.
SEC got 14 teams.
What?
Is that the most ever?
See,
it would have to be.
Wow. Yep, NCAA tournament record.
West Virginia didn't get in. Indiana, Ohio State. That's tough. That is tough. I think Indiana should have snuck in, but you know what? Maybe I'm just being a homer right now. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Boy, the SEC got a 14.
If they would have got to that 20 with a net ranking of 54, I think they would have made it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But now I think who should be? I think they got to be the favorite to go win the NIT.
Who's Indiana? I bet they don't take it. I bet they don't.
I don't think they're going to.
I bet they turn down a bit because some teams think they're bigger than life, and I think they want to move on. Yeah,
you get an opportunity to go get all those guys who aren't in the tourney. You get the first look at them.
But I thought the portal was off until it's fair for everybody to be able to get in there at the same time. It's not like that.
If you're out. And teams are like, because there's kids like, Owen Freeman was the guy yesterday, and now he's going to be in the portal. And, people think just because you announce it, that means something. You have to make it official with the NCAA. But if they're in the portal and if your season's done, I think there can be some contacts. I don't think that's tampering anymore.
Oh, okay. So did they say anything about Illinois? How did they feel about Illinois?
I'm really curious because they'll be talk all night, and I guarantee you they're going to talk about the possibility if there was a team who could do upsets and who can advance. I just think for the first time, you know how many times we have, Griff, you played in it, obviously, but, people covering the game and people being a fan, they got a bad draw. I don't think that this year. I think they got a really, really favorable draw, which never happens to Illinois. It just doesn't happen. I mean, you're going to play somebody good. You got a 6 seed, so you're not a 2 or 3 this year. A 5 would have been great. I mean, I was really banking on a 5, and I was hoping, but when that Purdue thing bothers me, it's nothing personal, Purdue fans, but that's a gift to me. I don't know. And I do think if you look at the media, they love Matt Painter, and I think that was part of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. They didn't deserve that to me.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge that people had. Again, Purdue just seems a little bit crazy. Let's go back and take a look here at, again, if you look at Illinois' region here,
especially Purdue's
Illinois' region here, and you're.
So Illinois plays Friday night.
I tell you, yep. Well, Friday. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think Friday. They've got the times in yet.
I saw this here.
Yeah, I still think.
How about Rutgers? I see Seth made a comment. 2 lottery picks. I don't even think they had a 500 record this year. They may not even.
Well, but how do you pay the money for those 2 guys and let an old dude like Cliff leave? I mean,
no kidding.
Moranu, you get him at center and the leadership, and he plays defense.
Well, a lot of times, the Green, because he got paid more money. Maybe it wasn't about money. Maybe he wanted to win because think if he would have stayed, and he would have helped. I don't know if they would have gotten a tournament. I mean, he's good, but he's not a dominant enough guy to where he's going to put you in the tournament. So it worked. It probably worked out well for him.
Yeah, it might have. I'm just saying, if you're Rutgers, though, you got to pay to keep a guy like that, and you need to go out and get a young guard to help the freshman. You just can't. You can't go all the way like that, and not get, as Brad Underwood said, you want to get old and stay old. And I think if Brad Underwood could do it over, he probably would have. Obviously, maybe instead of Kerry Booth, maybe he gets a 6'5" guard who can handle the ball and is older to go to help out this team. Or get Cliff to help this team out. So yeah, now here's the interesting thing: the field or the SEC, and I got to be honest with you, when you got 14 teams to choose from, that's not a bad bet.
I will say a healthy Duke squad, I take the field.
Okay.
You know what? I agree with that, Griffin, because I'll tell you what, I mean, because they are good. I know the ACC is not what it has been in the past, but the SEC got a lot of teams in, and they got good draws. I mean, I think they did. Look at that, the top 4 seeds by regions. That Purdue one and I feel bad for Maryland. They had an unbelievable year this year. They should have been a 3 seed, in my personal opinion. I think they finished second in the Big Ten. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, they did, because they were 2 seed. And then I don't know. That's why some of these people are asking who's in the room making these decisions. I would love to know, but they always talk about why they did this and why they did that. I guess I don't know.
Pencil pushers is in that room. I'm pretty sure there's no athletes ever making these decisions. And I take that back to when we be talking about the MVP races and the best basketball players of all time. It be people that sit and report the game instead of people who actually played the game to get to make those decisions.
And they should be watching all of them from start to finish. If you know they're on the committee, do your homework. I mean, people think this is crazy. I pay attention to social media because kids are injured. That stuff matters. I mean, it really does.
Yep. It does. It
does. And you look at Purdue, you know, they were 14th in the net, and that had to be one of the factors that got them there.
That was a huge factor. Because you can't because they ended the year, I'm pretty sure what they last 10 games, they was probably 5-5, if not worse.
Oh, yeah. They struggled. They really struggled down there. I think they're the
road.
Wow, guys, can you believe it's here? Now our women are going to be getting an opportunity to play, and I know they're probably going to come out with an 8 or 9 seed and have to play somebody like South Carolina or LSU right off the bat too. So, but it's kind of good though. You know, this is a good time of year. And it's also a bad time of the year because the tournament is what everybody's what they look forward to. And then once your team loses, it's kind of okay. It's baseball, it's a golf season, you know. So this is an exciting time of the year. And I tweeted this a few minutes ago. You never take this stuff for granted because you look at a team like Indiana. Can you imagine what they're feeling like right now? They're probably upset because that's a program that's always been in the tournament. Yeah. You know, I get it. And then like you look at one of the most successful teams in college basketball the last 10 years is Gonzaga, and they got an A seed this year. We just talked about North Carolina not getting in. So the Illinois fans, I mean, I know you're upset. My mom called me right before I did this podcast, just going off. I'm like, Mom, they won the Big Ten tournament last year. This has not been a great year, but it's not been a horrible year. You know what? They're still in the tournament. Imagine you're Iowa right now. You know, or Ohio State. They just hired a new coach and they're in the second year and they're sitting at home. So you're not going to win, you know, the Big Ten. You're not going to win every game and people are being critical. But I'm going to tell you, when the tournament starts, it's open to everybody. Anybody can beat anybody and there's going to always be upsets.
Yep.
So Kenny's predicting High Point has 2 starting fives, a very deep team. They're going to wear down Purdue for the upset. And Purdue, by the way, lost 6 of their last 9 games.
Yep.
To get a 4 seed.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. No, sorry.
I mean, that means that you're talking a team, you know, lost 6 of their last 9. So that team, you know, at one point, geez, you know, they've only got 11 losses, so they had half of their losses in the last 9 games.
Season. Yep.
I mean, so you're talking a team that was what 19-6, ended up 22-11. I mean,
yeah, because they was a 4 seed, a 5 seed in January.
Yeah.
And January, early February, and the wheels fell off. But I like that upset pick. I like that.
Now it's about who can win the games, because as much as everybody talks about it, but there's just not it's just not now. It's what you do in the NCAA tournament. The rest of the season is dead. For as frustrated as people have been about the up and downs of this Illinois Fighting Illini team, if they go and they win, if they go and they beat Texas or Xavier, and then they beat Kentucky, and they have to face down Tennessee, people will look at that as a much better season if you make it to the second weekend, regardless of what happened. So it's in the hands of these players if they want to change their reputation, right?
I got a question for you guys. We talked about all of this. Who do we see right now is the biggest upset? Like what upset? What 3-14? What 11-6? 11-6 matchup do we see shocking the world this year?
Well, Kenny made this point at one. That high point over Purdue could be one. That's very possible.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's very, very possible.
Yeah, I don't like how Purdue.
It would be hilarious with all the upsets. With all the times Purdue's been upset, to add another one to the list would be fun.
Yep.
So Mike, can you put some of those up there, Mike?
It's hard to go just by that, but we'll just kind of go each region here real quick. Well, there was the last 4 in and the last 4 out. So Texas was one of the last 4 in.
Yeah.
Xavier, of course, West Virginia. So now we'll see DeVries will be over at Iowa probably tomorrow morning?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Wonder if Chester Frazier will end up going over with him, or will Chester get his shot to run the West Virginia program? I mean, that would be so cool to see Chester get his opportunity to be a head coach. I think he's got all the talent for it.
He's been an assistant long enough, so it's time to see what he can do. And if that happens, if that does happen, you're right. Fedigator mentioned Montana, Wisconsin. I don't know. I think Wisconsin is a much improved team. They weren't talked a lot about in the Big Ten this year. You know, they're one of the forgotten teams. I don't know why. They just win. They always seem to win. And you know, I know today, like I said to you, I'm not going to look at what Michigan did today in Wisconsin. They've had great years. And also, I'll tell you Michigan lost 3 or 4, Mike, I think, 3 games in a row, 3 out of the last 5 games. They didn't do well down the stretch either until they got to the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, Michigan was struggling as well. They had a streak. They ended up winning. They lost. They won their last 3. But they were coming off a 3-game losing streak, which started with Illinois, then it was Maryland, and then it was Michigan State. Then they beat Purdue, Maryland, and Wisconsin. Boom, 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 to win the title. So that puts them in a place. Let's just go through real quick each bracket, and then I'll have you guys tell me the upset that you see. And we'll see how that goes.
Are you going to bring it up on the screen?
Yep. Going to bring it up here in a sec. Okay. So the first one is, let's go in the South. Any big upsets that you see right here?
Not for me. The most interesting game for me is the 8-9. But I don't see any upsets happening with that one. I don't know about Griff, but I don't see any of those. I think Texas A&M is a good team. They defend, they rebound. Auburn is going to breeze through that first game, and Michigan should take care of San Diego.
I don't see anything either.
Yep, that's what I was kind of thinking.
The only one is that 5-12 game. That could happen if Michigan just craps the bed, if not craps the bed, and a team shoots 60% from 3. So something like that can happen.
It does. You're right. Or maybe I'm being blind because they're a Big Ten school too.
Well, let's look at the bottom half of the South region.
I
don't know that I see anything that.
If there was going to be an upset,
New Mexico going to be.
Yep.
So, Mr. Patino.
Yep, I'm picking it.
I wonder if have we ever had a father-son coaching duo both win a game in an NCAA tourney?
I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I'm sure somebody pointed out to them, and they'll let us know.
Yep. So we got that opportunity. Let me go up to the next region. We did the South. So now we've got the East region. Looking at this one,
Liberty beating Oregon.
It would be fun.
That's hard to say because I don't see that. I mean,
I agree. But Oregon is not played What is their last 10 games?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
they're limping into the tournament, and I know you get new life when you get in the NCAA tournament, but
if there's going to be one, that's going to be the only one I see in that one.
That's the only one.
Because Akron is not going to touch Arizona. I just don't see that happening.
I don't think they're physically, they're going to be. Now, if we go talk about Oregon down the stretch,
Kenny's taking.
It's interesting because Oregon, basically they had from January 25th through February 8th, they went through a 5-game losing streak and 6 out of 7. Then they closed the season with 8 wins and then lost to Michigan State.
Okay.
So basically they were a team of streaks.
Yeah.
And I still don't, the bottom line with them is they beat Alabama 83-81. And I think that victory over a top 10 team probably differentiated them from teams like Illinois that had a lot of wins but weren't unable to defeat the teams up in that air, although both Oregon and UCLA were highly ranked when Illinois knocked them off. So let's go to the next one then after we have been
But didn't Illinois beat a 4-seeded ranked Alabama squad this year?
No,
they came close.
Yeah, but they beat Arkansas.
Okay, Arkansas.
Yeah. So you got BYU down on this side. I think now Montana Feta Gators, saying that Montana is going to give Wisconsin a game, and
Vanderbilt's beating St. Mary's. To me, I'm picking that one. It's not really an upset. It's 7-10.
That'll help the SEC, won't it? I mean,
yeah,
it will, but still, I think Vanderbilt's good.
Yeah. No, I got that. So let's go up another region then. We'll go through the Illini region and sit here and go, okay. I think McNeese is an interesting one, but let's say High Point goes ahead and pulls the upset. They might be the one opportunity here.
It's going to happen at 5-12. I shouldn't say it's going to. It typically happens, and there's been a lot of 2-15s the last few years too.
Well, that would mean, like I said, let's just hope Illinois can avoid the first round upset and then pull off the second round upset.
Oh, here's the record: 64, 1-16, 22. Yeah, the records are up there: 8-9, 8-16 since 2018. 6-11, 12-12, and that's what Illinois is. Dead even. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's not making me feel better, Ked.
I didn't put it up there, man.
Yep.
Petigator, Illinois 7-0 against the teams 15-44 in Ken Palm. I don't know. A lot of people are texting me, blowing my phone up. They're mad about seeing they're scared of Kentucky. This isn't the Kentucky of old. They're a good team. They're an SEC team. But this is not the run and gun and press down your throat. Yes, they're good, but they're beatable. I'm telling you, they just are.
They're not a bunch of freshmen either.
No.
Well, I mean, you look at this last West region. It would be fun to see Oklahoma beat UConn. It's fun to see for anybody to see them beat UConn because Hurley's such a jackass.
But quiet as kept, though, this is what I say about this. At one point in time, UConn was ranked in the top 5. Yep. He is one of the best coaches in the world.
Oh, no doubt.
And so he could make them competitive. They could, if they can win that first game with the size that UConn has and the length, they can make it tough on Florida.
You know what, Marcus? The way Florida looked this week, I'm not certain. I think you need last year's UConn team to do that.
Yeah,
they got the measurables.
Yeah,
he's right. You're right.
They got the measurables to make it difficult because UConn is long. They got length and they got size and they got guard play. You got a
danger versus Queen if both Memphis and Maryland win.
Yep,
so that'd be a good matchup.
And
Yeah,
then
I think
on
Maryland.
the
I think Maryland is
backside
going to
here,
Sweet 16.
I do too, Griff. I think
Yep.
Maryland. I think this is their year.
No, I think this
any
is
shot
Arkansas.
that can. Oh, really?
Yes.
Who do you got?
Calipari versus Self in a first round game. Who would have
Yep.
thought that would happen?
I'm sorry. I'm taking Arkansas. This is Kansas. This is one of those years.
One of those years.
Yep, it is. It's like Illinois. I mean, they're 6 seed and they've been great the last few years, but this is not Bill. One of Bill Self's better teams. And I'll tell you what, look out because you can bet you they're going to go out and they're going to spend money. The Big 12 is tougher. He's not rolling through it like he once was. They're going to be done and they're going to hit that portal early.
And I believe that a lot of the old school coaches, they have a problem with the portal, but it's either one of those situations you evolve with it or you go ahead and leave the coaching game because it is not going away. It's not. Because I remember a couple years ago, I heard like Coach Izzo, he rarely don't like getting guys out of the portals.
He doesn't. I mean, I talked to Jamie Fierce, his son plays for Michigan State, and I'm gonna tell you that's one of the things that a lot of the parents were frustrated with because they weren't selfish. They wanted him to get players out of the portal and not just major guys. But you're right. That's why a lot of older guys are getting out of it. They don't like the part of it, and I don't think that's fair. But I'll tell you, it's scary though because I don't know how you're going to police it. It's not getting any easier.
No, they're making it. They should have, and I understand. But I'm going to go back to this. I had these conversations in Peoria all the time. When you sign your name to a contract, that has to be a binding contract. And the only way you get out of that contract is because of something happens with the coach, head coach, not because of feelings, not because of playing time, all that good stuff. You shouldn't be able to transfer. It's just crazy. Like it makes sports that much difficult. It just makes it when you know 50% or 60% of your team is willing to leave every year, and then you got to re-recruit your players. Like, how can you build tradition in that climate? It's just hard.
Well, it's you know what, people want a market-based economy. Well, that's what you got.
Yeah,
and it's the almighty dollar, and it's hard for me to throw a rock at a kid. Let's take one, for example, if Coleman Hawkins, and I'm just making up numbers here, but if he was promised $2 million by Kansas and Illinois, let's say, offered him $500,000, and he's pretty certain that he's not going to make a regular living in the NBA, $1.5 million in the bank can change your life forever. I'm not going to blame a kid for doing that. As much as as an Illinois fan, I'd have loved. I know that Coach Underwood and a lot of Illinois fans were more than tired of Coleman Hawkins, but I'd have loved to have Coleman Hawkins out there this season. But I can't blame him. If somebody came to my son and said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $2 million to do what you're doing right now for that much more," I'd tell my son, get there and sign whatever piece of paper you can as fast as humanly possible. I mean, you know, and it's just
life changing. It is life changing for a lot of kids.
I
there should be a cap on it. Some of these schools, because I'll tell you, if the rumor is right, which seems like appears to be that it is, you give a guy $2 million. And right now, I guarantee that's going to change. That's going to go 2.5 and 3. That's why you have to put a cap on it, and then there'll
be a cap on it, Ked. But the problem with putting a cap on it is how do you enforce that? Then we're back to the days. You know, I have a very good friend of mine who played football at Illinois, and he said when they went he goes, when I was sitting in the locker room in the NFL, he goes, you know, we didn't get much. He goes, and I'd listen to the Ohio State and Michigan guys, and I'm like, man, I would have styled and profiled if I played for them. And he goes, then I listened to the SEC guys, and he's like, holy crap. You know, so the money, you know, the money is just, there'll always be somebody who wants to cheat. So I actually like the idea of just having them clear out, you know, just having them put the money on there, and I wish they would just have to publish this is the NIL dollars for each guy, because right now an NIL contract is a lot like a WWE wrestler. You run into Ric Flair, who was 6'2" and 240, and you're like, wait a minute, he's 5'11" and 220. And I think the NIL contracts, if somebody tells me a guy's making 1.2 million, that tells me he's making 600 or 750. And so, but I would love to see what people are really making, and then you could kind of have an idea of what the bigger teams are doing. Ohio State had a $20 million payroll for football. They won a national title, and Illinois didn't have near that much, and Brett Bielema won 10 games. It's just a difference in the playing field. It'd be nice to at least know what it really was.
But KP, I'm with you, KP. I definitely think it should be some type of cap. But like Mike said, how do you know it's going to cap? Because once you put that on there, then you're going to get back to the olden days that under the table stuff is going to start back to happening.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want to have happen.
To find the cap because,
well, the cap is supposed to be approximately 22 million, and we will see, paid out by the schools, and then there's going to be additional NIL that is based on real business. But who determines whether it's real business versus not? So there's a lot of questions there, and I think I hate to say it, but probably less enforcement is probably better, because then you don't have these situations, where like Illinois almost gets the death sentence because a coach edits a tape and makes Dion look like he's taking dollars. Meanwhile, you've got other teams that are giving out cars and I had all sorts of people down when I was down in Georgia. I had all sorts of people asking me like, what goes on in Chicago, because Anthony Davis and the Nike box of 200,000 or whatever it was that he got to go to Kentucky, and all these AAU coaches be like, dude, what goes on up in Chicago? I'm like, I lived in Bloomington,
yeah,
and so everybody thinks the state of Illinois is there's a little tip at the bottom and everything else is Chicago. So, all right, folks. Well, we wanted to kind of just basically share our reactions to this. We're planning on doing a selection show either tonight or tomorrow night. We'll probably throw in Brad and Larry, who spend a lot of time developing their brackets and going into a ton of depth. We were just going to have some fun here and let you guys listen to us ramble on. I think the key takeaways is Indiana's not in. What the hell happened to get Purdue a 4 seed? And Illinois got a pretty good draw, but they got to go out and play. Any other highlights you guys got?
I'd agree with that. I just heard John Beilein, former Michigan coach. He's upset with the fact that the Big Ten didn't get a lot of teams and only got 8 teams in the Big Ten tournament. It's good to have a guy like him advocate for the Big Ten. But Mike, you summed it up best. I think my biggest complaint, if I have to give one, is Purdue's 4 seed. Oregon's 5 seed. I think Illinois, for the first time, me personally, I like their draw. The 6 seed, you're going to play somebody tough in the second round. It's what it is. And here's the deal: you gotta play. Illinois can beat anybody if they make shots. I mean, if they make shots and they can defend just a little bit, I'm sorry, Kentucky doesn't scare me, and they may blow Illinois out of the gym. We saw Maryland do it, and it's very, very possible. The little things that they've struggled with, they have to shore up. But speaking about the tournament, they're in the tournament. You could be one of those teams like I mentioned earlier. You could be Iowa. You could be Ohio State. You could be Indiana, sitting at home and then maybe playing in the NIT. So you're not in that position. Enjoy it. Even if you were a 9 seed, you're in the tournament.
Yep. And I will agree. From the start, from the very first bracket they showed, the seedings was the only takeaway for me. It was just all up and down. No, I would just love to know the conversations that took place in that room. But other than that, the season starts over. You're on I think it's 6 games?
Yep.
So you're on a 6-game season now. Whatever happened from here to 6 months ago, it's over. So now it's to clear your mind, and get ready to go. It's just that
3-4 team tournaments every weekend.
Yep.
You know, that's really what it comes down to. You got 4 teams. You got to beat, you got to beat 2 of the 4, and you go on and you move on to the next level. You know, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So they just got to go out there and, take care of business with the 11 seed, and then take care of Kentucky, and then, you reboot it. And the only, like I said, the biggest scary thing for me is when you run into Houston. But you know what? Houston's been beat before too. So,
but I got one quick shout out. I'm going to tell you guys some breaking news. So Marcus is getting into the AAU game.
Sweet.
So starting here shortly, we're putting all the behind the scenes work stuff together. So it will be MGI, Marcus Griffin, Illinois Blazers.
Ooh.
So we going back to old throwback Portland Trailblazer jerseys with the going across the chest. So, but yeah, we're working on it. Hopefully we're going to start with 3 teams, 2 younger teams, and then a 14U girls team.
Griff, when we get off the air, you need to give me a call. I'm going to tell you a secret, because this is supposed to be an Illinois podcast. But I had the biggest AAU team in the Quad Cities. I had 16 teams once, boys and girls, 8 girls. So when we get off this podcast a little bit later on tonight, give me a buzz. I have some good advice for you. I'm telling you, if anybody knows anything about AAU basketball and sponsorships, I can help take care of you, buddy. I promise you that.
Man, I'm you. Say less.
I'm serious.
So I'm definitely going to give you a call. But yeah, this is something that I've been wanting to do. It's going to be the area we want to focus on, because it's definitely going to be Peoria, Galesburg, Bloomington, this centralized area.
Quad Cities.
Yeah. If you come down to Quad Cities, this centralized area. And so, but yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
Some great coaches. I got some great local coaches from the Galesburg, Peoria, Washington area. So we're ready to go.
Sweet.
Thanks, Griff.
MGI Blazers, folks.
Yep.
Better figure that out if you wanna ball out. So what is your Twitter handle for those people who want to follow you?
Oh,
I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
And then somebody asked me what's the best way to get tickets cheap for the NCAA tournament. And I had to reveal to them that being a former pharmaceutical guy, I haven't paid for tickets for decades. Now I'm an Illini guy, so I had no clue how to help.
We'll find out and let you know, though. But you know how we'll tell you? Get on the Illini guys, and we'll let you know. Get on our message board, and we'll tell you. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
At Big Griff 52 is how you get Marcus Griffin. And of course, if you haven't followed Ked or I, you go at Ked Prince 4 and just use my name there at Mike Cagley, and you can follow us on Twitter. That's an easy way to get a lot of information. We will be back either later tonight or tomorrow to talk NCAA tournament. Thank you so much, Marcus. And until next time, folks, go Illini.